Hi there, my name is Hannah West. I am the writer and director of Follow My Fingers, which we are hoping to submit to the Vault Festival. We are a new production company called Rebel Act Productions, which aims to use our platform as artists and actors through theatre and film to talk about important social messages. And as you'll see through these videos, I'll tell you a little bit more about what our play is doing to help challenge people's mindset and the way that they think about the world around them. So Follow My Fingers is based on a true story, my story, a story that I experienced whilst travelling in South America. So it's based around four girls who meet in a hostel and decide to travel together through hiring a car. As they're journeying together, they're learning about the world around them, about culture, nature, religion, God, friendship, and then one day they have a car accident, a very, very traumatic car accident where one of them nearly dies. And they're in the middle of nowhere. And basically they need to use all the tools they've got to come together and try and save this girl's life. And then they have to deal with the aftermath of what it is to have an accident in a completely foreign country where they don't speak the language. The main themes that go through the play is the theme around God. So one of the characters is highly religious, and throughout it is talking about how God protects her. And the other character, played by myself, is grappling with this concept of how God can be omnipresent yet allow these things to happen. So God is a very central theme to the play. The other theme is around post-traumatic stress disorder and therapy. So one of the characters following the crash finds it really difficult to live normally again because of the trauma that she's experienced. So it looks at how particular types of therapy can help her confront these demons in the past, and also look towards God again to see whether God has helped or somehow impeded her journey to recovery. Other themes that run through it is the themes of friendship, culture. How do these girls deal with everything that's going on in a completely foreign land? And I think also the theme of like black and white and dark and light and good and evil are kind of like underpinning the play as it goes along. So the artistic intentions of the show are to allow the audience to see the world through the main character's eyes. What is it like to undergo therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder? What does that world look like through their eye? What does it feel like to experience that trauma? What impact does that have on your life? So it's very much allowing the audience to see the world very differently. And we want them to reflect on what's reality and what's not real. And we do that in a number of ways. We do it through physical theatre, we do it through soundscape, we do it through the use of technology, using the camera. We also do it in terms of playing with speed. So having very, very quick scenes and then having really long scenes, use of silence. So it's playing with the audience in the sense of what is real, what is not, and what is it like to be in this world when you have never experienced that before. It's a glimpse into the realities of someone experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. So the play has been structured in such a way that it flits between the therapy room and the world in South America leading up to the accident. The scenes are very short. So in the whole we've got, I think at the moment we're in 33 scenes. And the reason that they're short is deliberate, because when you experience trauma, time changes. Things slow down, things speed up. And this girl in the therapy room is recalling all these things. So it's taking the audience back into glimpses of what she remembers about the accident. And that's done very quickly in order to be able to try and help them relate to the world of someone experiencing therapy. You don't really know throughout the play what is real and what's not. Are you living in the world of the therapy room? Are you living in the world of Argentina and the lead up to the accident? How are they linked? And as the play goes on, it becomes much more evident. And the concept of whether this is real or not emerges, where one of the main characters questions whether she might have died in the accident. So it's structured deliberately like that to help the audience understand what it's like when someone's undergoing therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder. This is actually how they see the world. It becomes incredibly vivid when you're recalling events, and the detail of it is incredibly specific. So it's to help the audience see this world through the main character. We are also playing with technology quite a lot. So we will have a camera on stage with us the whole time, which will project up onto the back wall. And again, this is to help the audience see the world through the main character. So in the therapy room, we will have it that the therapist is using her fingers. This is called EMDR. It's the therapy that we use in the play to help trigger some of the emotional responses that you should experience when you have a trauma. And that'll be projected up onto the back wall, so the audience will also experience this therapy with the main character. We then use the camera for a number of different things. We have a Skype call, so the main character looks into the camera in order to be able to have Skype, and that's projected up onto the back wall. It's used in some of the scenes where we're having drinking games, so it's like the audience is there as another person having drinks with us or doing shots with us. At one point in the play, we break the fourth wall, and this is the courtroom scene, where we turn the camera on the audience and they become like the judge and jury of the court. It's the only time we break the fourth wall, but it's a really powerful scene. It's at the very height of emotion, and hopefully it will help them feel the sense of unease that the people in the courtroom actually experienced when this was happening, because it was such a kind of ridiculous thing to be happening. So technology plays a vital role in it through the camera on stage, and really helps us like add to the structure of what is real, what's not, what's a dream world, has she died, has she not, the kind of concept that this could also be God as well, the looking down, protecting, being omnipresent. The camera could also represent that as well. So with the design element of the show, this is how we're doing it for the Clapham Fringe. Obviously it might change based on some responses that we get, but the idea is we are performing in an incredibly dark room. The floor is dark, the walls are dark, so everything we have is going to be white, including all the props. We have very minimal props. It's probably about 10 that we use. Some cups, there's a mop, there is some like boards as books, and everything will be painted white, so it will really contrast to this dark world, and it really plays on this concept of light and dark, good and evil. And one thing that the audience, as they sort of come towards the end of the play, will start questioning is whether this girl actually died in the accident and whether everything is real. So that's why we're using this very sort of like simplistic colour scheme to kind of contrast these two worlds. We'll also have on stage very sort of minimal furniture. This might evolve if we get accepted in the Vault Festival, because we'll also have some more space. But we're in, for the Clapham Fringe, we're in quite a small space. So we have designed it in such a way that we have 2 tables that double up as beds, just kind of through a hinge that kind of comes up and down, and 4 chairs, and all of it is on wheels. So it will create a movement piece in the transitions through the way that we move on the tables and chairs. So we use them, it's almost like creating a dance. So there's quite a lot of scenes and the transitions are quite quick. So the idea is that we use our body in relation to the chairs and the tables in a dance movement piece in order to be able to get us into the next scene. And nothing is hidden in this play. So when we're doing transitions, when we're doing coming on as new characters, everything is done to the audience so they can see the actor's process in a way, coming in and off of stage. In terms of technical requirements for the show, we would need a space where we were able to have a projector so that we could use our camera on stage and project the images, the live feed to the audience. We also really need a space where we can have good lighting design. Lighting is really important to our play because of the contrasts that we want to show the audience. So I've talked a lot about the themes of good and evil, light and dark, heaven and hell. There's moments where it's incredibly intimate, there's moments when it's incredibly separate as well. So lighting design is going to be really, really key. I'll give you an example. When we're doing the prayer scene, we will have very sort of like honed in lighting, very sort of warm. For the hospital scenes, it's very white, stark contrast. We would love to be able to have some strobe lighting. Unfortunately, with the Clapham Fringe, they don't have that facility. But if we did get a place at the Vault, I think we would want to develop the play so that we could extend it to slightly larger audiences. At the moment, where this would be performed to audiences of 60, and it's a very small space, which does limit what we can do. So ideally, be looking for a slightly bigger space to more people, so that we can create that idea of intimacy versus separation, I guess. So yeah, so the key would be projector and camera, really good lighting, like facilities for lighting design. We're also developing our own soundscape throughout. So we're really lucky that most of the cast are also actor musos and singers. So we'll be using our voices and a bit of body percussion for the transitions. But there are definitely soundscapes that we're not able to create ourselves that we would want to be able to have. But I mean, most theatres have that facility, so that shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, so I think that would be it on technical requirements. So why do I want to bring this production to the Vault Festival? I think firstly, the venue is so perfectly suited to the play Follow My Fingers. As I've talked a lot about before, the main themes of the play are very much about evil and good and light and dark and life and death. And every time I've been to see something at the Vault, I always get this feeling that I'm entering the underworld, that I'm somehow in this like limbo stage between a reality and a non-reality, and it's full of connotations of dreams and darkness and possibility. And I think that that really lends itself to our production. So in terms of the actual aesthetics, it's beautiful and perfect. Secondly, everyone that I know that has performed at the Vault has talked incredibly highly about their experience. So I think like being able to increase all of our knowledge and experience of performing in slightly different and bigger venue, and having the opportunity to network with different artists would be incredibly valuable. I think also it marks a stepping stone for us as actors and as a company. So we're all recent graduates from the Academy of Live and Recorded Arts in London, and the Clapham Fringe is the first place that we are taking this play to. It's a very small venue. It's a local venue to our drama school. So if we sort of were to say what would be the next step, it would be something like the Vault Festival, where we'd be playing to hopefully slightly bigger audiences, but as part of a more prestigious festival, one that was highly regarded. And thirdly, I think that Follow My Fingers is a play that people at the Vault Festival are really going to want to come and see, because it's a play which has important messages behind it, but it also has really funny parts. It's also got darkness, it's got physical movement, it's got beautiful soundscape. And when I think of stuff that I've seen at the Vault previously, it's very much been around the unusual, the different, challenging people for movement and sound and theatre, and that's exactly what our piece does. So yeah, I think the Vault Festival would give us that opportunity to showcase new, important work by a female-led company, by a female-led cast, and yeah, and I think we'd have a lot of fun as well. Every time I've been there, it's a fantastic atmosphere, and I just think it would be the next stepping stone for us to grow as a company and as actors and individuals as well. So as far as the team is concerned for Follow My Fingers, we have an incredible cast on board. They are all either current students, but mainly graduates and alumni from the Academy of Live and Recorded Arts in Wandsworth. So incredibly talented individuals comprised of 5 women and 1 man. I am also directing the show in collaboration with another director who is about to graduate from the Academy of Live and Recorded Arts, called Sophie Hill. So together we sort of have the vision and are working with the actors in order to be able to make this reality. We have, for our set design and artistic design, we have an incredible individual called Ryan Orme on board, who is a recent graduate of the Slade School of Fine Art. So we're very, very privileged to have him on board. Musician-wise, in terms of musical director, we're very lucky that the cast comprised of 4 or 5 musicians. So we're actually, during our rehearsals, developing our own soundscape, which will be there for the transitions and the opening and the finale. We will also have some additional sound design on top of that. So in terms of still who we've got to get on board, we have to get our sound and light designers and operators. So that's something that I am advertising for at the moment. We are a female-led team, so ideally I would love to get more females on board doing that. So I'm using platforms like Bossy in order to reach out and get those individuals to join us. So we've got a really, really strong, passionate team, people that are starting out in the business, so need and want a platform to be able to showcase their talents and ability and have the opportunity to network with new people. And I think we're coming to this full of passion and creativity and dedication. So who's our target audience? I think primarily our target audience is people that enjoy watching theatre that has a message attached to it. So people that are political or socially aware or environmentally aware, and when they go to the theatre, they don't want to have this message blared at them, but they want to learn something new. They want to come away thinking slightly differently about the world. And the great thing is that everyone who's read this play has come away thinking that, and we haven't even shown it yet. So it's really exciting to think, when we've got this play in its final product, what way it is really going to challenge the audience's view of the world and themselves. There's a lot of existential questions in there. So I think people that want to be challenged in some way. Secondly, I would say our target audience is people that want to see something a bit different, not conventional. So as I said, we use a lot of physical theatre. Some of it's quite akin to like frantic assembly stuff. So I think people that want to come and see a movement piece, a dance piece, a piece that is not scared to show process on stage, not scared to break the fourth wall, not scared to let the audience into this world. So yeah, people that enjoy going to watch frantic assembly stuff, physical theatre stuff, people that love listening to shows with really good music and soundscapes would be our sort of second target audience. I think the good thing about this play is that it will appeal to a number of different people across the spectrum. I think because it's a young cast, we're all between early 20s and early 30s. So when you've got a young cast, it often attracts other young people. It's a travelling story. It's a story of people heading out into the wilderness and travelling. And I think that appeals to a lot of young people who are maybe thinking about doing these things for themselves. But at the same time, because of the concepts of God and religion and culture and politics, I think it also will appeal to older people as well. So I think age-wise, we have a spectrum in order to reach out to. So in terms of how we're going to reach out and market our show to our target audience, there's a number of ways we're going to do this. I think we're very lucky in the fact that we are recent graduates from a drama school in London. Our drama school is incredibly well connected to the industry, but also to other actors, to directors, casting directors, and to other drama schools. So we'll be using that as a platform and to reach out and share our shows. Every day we are getting emails about other alumni, other students that are doing shows, and we're always going along and supporting each other. So I think that will be a massive area for us to reach out to. Secondly, I'm lucky to know quite a lot of people in the industry that have done festival runs and have also done runs at the Vault Festival. I know the people that did Chivalry Circus last year at the Vault, which had incredible turnout. So I will be tapping into this knowledge base around me and asking them how they got people along, what were their main forms of communication, what platforms did they use, and building my experience based on the knowledge and experiences of others. Thirdly, before I became an actor, my career was working in communications. So I know a lot about how to develop communication and marketing strategies. So I'll be using all my skills and experience, and I'll also be probably hiring someone if there's a budget, if not trying to get somebody who's willing to volunteer their time to work with me on a marketing strategy and how we reach out to the people who want to get along to our show. So I guess to narrow it down, it's really about the contacts and the networks that I've, not just me, but me and the cast and the rest of the crew have. So it's tapping into them, using our drama school as a platform, tapping into the knowledge and experience of people around us that have done this already, and making sure that we integrate that into our own marketing strategy. So what makes this play newsworthy, or what makes this play different? I think a lot of things. I think, firstly, when you think of post-traumatic stress disorder, you think of war. You don't think of traumatic incidents that affect people on an everyday basis and what impact that has on their life. So I think it will show a very different slant on post-traumatic stress disorder. I think that it's different and it's going to be newsworthy in how aesthetically beautiful it looks. So I've talked a lot about the movement, not just the movement of the kind of furniture as a dance, the physical movement and the lighting design and the soundscape, and all of this coming together is aesthetically incredibly beautiful. So I think that makes it very, very interesting. I think also this is different, and maybe this is the main thing that's different, is because of how the audience become part of the play. We know a lot about immersive theatre. This is and isn't immersive theatre. It's allowing the audience in a way to be God, play God, or see the world as God, mixed with seeing the world through the main character's eyes, through the use of the camera on stage. So I think that the audience will get a really unique perspective into a play through the use of technology. And I think that's different and unusual. And I think for this type of story will be incredibly thought-provoking. Thank you very much for watching our video application for the Vault Festival. We're really excited about the possibility of sharing Follow My Fingers with a wider audience and at the reputable Vault Festival. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and we really look forward to the possibility and opportunity of working with you all, the creative team and the Vault Festival. Thank you.